Hello guys, this is the first video on a series of videos that we're gonna be explaining how to use the 3D printer. In this case, we'll have the Formlabs Form 3 Plus resin printer. And in this video, we're gonna go over the software that we use. In this case, the program is called PreForm. Here we're gonna be loading our part and we're gonna create the job that we're gonna send to the printer, and it's very straightforward, very basic. On your left side you have the scale that you can change, how to orient the part, to generate the supports, the layout where you can have multiple parts, for example, and then you have different options here. On the right side you're gonna have your printer information, the type of resin that you're going to be using, layer thickness, and print settings. We usually have that as default. Print validation, these checks for any mistakes in the way that you are orienting the part. If you don't have enough supports, for example, it will tell you. And then the summary, you have the total print time, volume, total printing cost, and the total layers, the total number of layers. So for this tutorial, we're gonna be printing a Neural Pixel 2 long cuff version. Actually, this is version 0.117. You can either drag the part or double click. We're gonna be using STL files. That's usually recommended format. When we double click, you see the part here on the printing bed. The people that made this part, they have a series of instructions on how to orient the part and also how to generate the supports, so you have a successful printing. The first step that they ask for is to orient the part so that the dovetail section, which is this dovetail right here, faces the mixer, and the part needs to be vertically positioned. So the first thing that we need to do is to go to the orient page. But before, I want to say that if you have a generally basic, straightforward geometry for what you're printing, you might get away with using this one-click setup. This is gonna automatically orient the part and also add the supports. Now, as I said before, actually one of the requirements is to not have any support in that dovetail section, because that's a critical surface. So we can already see how this option is not going to work. But like I said, if you have a generally fairly simple geometry, you might get away with it. So the first step is to orient the part. Like I said, the dovetail needs to be facing the mixer. We go to the z-axis, 90 degrees. Sorry, that was y-axis. The z-axis is going to be 180. And right now you can see how the dovetail now faces the mixer side. Perfect. Now for the supports, we go here and you have two options. You can either manually place the supports, or you can use the auto placement, which is pretty cool feature. And what they recommend based on their instructions is to have the touch point size at 0.45 millimeters. The density of the overhand is going to be 0.80. We want to have reinforcement because this part is very small actually, but for just in case, we're going to also put that as 0.8, the density. And then we're going to click generate also. Very important. It's very crucial to unclick this, because this allows internal supports on the model, imagine if you have a long tube or a hollow part. If you have this on, that's gonna generate supports inside, and once you print that, it might be hard to remove that support. You might not have access. Here we unselect that and we generate. So right now you see that we have our supports. The raft that holds everything is the base, and here on the left you see that the printing time is gonna be 3 hours and 30 minutes. The total volume for the model, the part that we're actually printing, is going to be 0.16 milliliters of resin. The supports itself, they're gonna require 0.14, and the raft is gonna be using a lot of resin, as you can see here. Sometimes having a full raft like this, it's useful because it tells you, it places the name of that part that you're printing. And for parts that you don't have it specified in the part itself here, and you're printing multiple ones or from different versions, having the raft here with the description is sometimes useful. Now this is, to me, a more like it's usually a waste of resin. So to fix that, we can go to the support page, raft, instead of full raft. So I'm gonna go over real quick on what each of these supports mean. If you have any question, you can always click the information symbol here, and it will tell you more detailed explanation. But the minima is the support located at the lowest point of that geometry. If this were to be a larger side or size scale, you will probably have another minima here, because the minima is that lowest point of that geometry. We could consider this side as one geometry, and then this side as another geometry. You can see one right here. Overhands, you will have one over here. Pretty obvious. They are color coded, so you can clearly see. And then stabilization, they work around the minima, and you can see here the description. You have your minima, and around you have stabilization points. We don't have anything for reinforcement, and it looks pretty cool. If for some reason you have one of the arms that you have here for your supports, it's touching a critical surface that you don't want, for example, you can always go to the manual placement, select and edit, and you can hit shift and click. You can actually I'm sorry, I forgot. You can actually go here and then auto generate, and you can generate one outside that dovetail, auto generate. And if you don't want this one, you can double click. We eliminated that touch point, which is, like I mentioned before, 0.45 millimeters in size. Generate, and now you don't have that one there. And as you can see, nothing for the support section is this color yellow. That means that when you see something yellow, is that it was added manually. And this one looks good. As you can see on the right side, we don't have any messages saying that we need more supports or that we have any issues with it. So another option that you have is to actually import batch print. This was included as part of the NeuroPixel 3D folder. They arranged and also added the supports. They added a bunch of supports for some reason, more than what they had specified. And as you can see, you have all the different versions. This is 112, then you have 117, which is the one that we were using. This is the short cuff, as you can see. And then if, for example, we want to print this version along with this one, you can just eliminate everything else. This is for stereotaxic. And then you have these two parts right here.